Okay, welcome. We are here today with Jordan Perruzza. He is 17 years old, plays for Toronto FC 2. He is an ex-teammate of mine from Woodbridge.
Yep.
Back with Marco Champa. Let's talk a little bit about those days.
That was fun. Those are the days, man.
Those are the days.
Tournaments all weekend long, just playing games,
No stress.
scoring goals.
Scoring goals.
That's all we did, man.
That's all you did.
That's all I did.
That's all you did. Jordan was that player. You put the ball in the net. First of all, I just want to thank you, Jordan, for coming out and giving me your time to interview you. Okay, so we are in the heart of Toronto, downtown Toronto. We are recording today. I have a couple of questions that we are going to be asking Jordan today. And first of all, let's just start with, when did you start playing football?
Started playing soccer. What, you want me to say football or soccer? Football?
Soccer, because we do live in Canada. We call it football soccer, so we are disrespectful.
Alright.
Yeah.
I started playing soccer when I was 4 years old with Vaughan Soccer Club. House League, Vaughan Soccer.
Sorry, you said you were 7? You started playing when?
4.
4. At 4 years old?
Yeah, man. What age did you start playing soccer?
That's right, like 6. Okay. What position did you play back?
I used to be a midfielder, and then I turned into a striker because of my eye for the goal, scoring all my goals.
Try to stay still, bro. Look at the camera. When did you fall in love with football?
I fell in love with football from a young age. Probably the first time I saw my favorite team, Juventus, play. That was the day I fell in love with soccer.
Who was your favorite player on Juventus?
My favorite player growing up was Alessandro Del Piero, but now it's Paulo Dybala.
Number 10.
Number 10.
When do you think you're going to sign your first professional contract?
I'm hoping to sign my first professional contract just after the new year.
So that's just in a couple of months.
Just a couple months away, hopefully.
How do you think it's going to feel?
I've been expecting it for a long time, but it's obviously going to feel surreal.
Why do you play for Toronto FC 2?
I chose to come and play for Toronto FC 2 because I felt like it was the best environment for me, and I'm just enjoying it.
When was your debut?
My debut was, I don't remember the date. Want me to find the date? Or redo that question?
Okay.
I posted a picture on the same date. September 16th.
Say that again louder.
My professional debut was September 16th in Cincinnati against FC Cincinnati in front of 30,000 people.
So talk about your debut. How did it feel? How was it? Just let us know.
My debut was incredible. I wasn't nervous at all to go play in front of all those fans, but I still felt like I wasn't really there,
right.
Even though I was on the field.
Well, you were there.
I was there with all the fans just hating on me.
So it was an away game?
Yeah, it was an away game.
Wow, so the atmosphere was crazy. How many fans were there?
30,000 people.
30,000 people. And how did you deal with 30,000 people?
I didn't let them faze me. Just warming up on the sidelines, they were calling me, since I'm number 77, they're like, yo, what's that, a linebacker number? they were
making jokes on the side.
On me, man.
Wow, it's crazy. Have you played a home game yet?
I haven't played a home game yet.
You're gonna have all the fans on your side.
Hopefully.
That should be amazing. Wait, so you're teammates with who right now? Who are you teammates with right now?
Ex-players that we used to play with?
Yes.
Rocco Romeo.
Yeah. Luca Petrasso.
Luca Petrasso.
Yes, that's it. And you?
And me from Woodbridge.
Yeah, that's all from Woodbridge. Wow.
It's the boys.
It's the boys. Okay, so did you have an agent through your journey?
I didn't.
Never.
Never had an agent.
Why is that?
I felt like going alone and dealing with my own problems would be better.
Right.
And I've gone this far without an agent, so I just felt like having my family supporting me was the best option.
Right. Would you promote having an agent, or would you promote going solo?
I would promote having an agent, not starting at a young age like 13, 14, but once you hit 16, 17, I think an agent would be helpful because it can help you with your decision making and wanting to switch clubs or stuff. or even getting you somewhere in Europe.
Right.
But if you're comfortable in a position or you just got to a new team, I don't think you need an agent. You can deal with it by yourself.
Okay. And throughout your football career, did you ever have a plan per se?
My plan was to always play professional in Italy.
Right.
But coming home, I still see it as an option 100%. But right now my goal is to make it to the MLS as soon as possible.
Do you have a backup plan?
No.
No. It's football. It's all about the football.
Soccer, nothing.
There's no plan B.
There's no
plan A.
It's soccer, nothing.
It's soccer or nothing.
It's soccer, nothing.
How has your life changed? Actually, let's just talk about Italy. How was it in Italy, and then coming back home? How was the transition
Being in
between
Italy?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was an easier lifestyle, just waking up every morning, knowing what you had to do, go on the field, perform, rest, eat, and then perform again the next day.
Right.
Meanwhile, being here, I know that I was living on campus there, so like I woke up and I was on the field. But being here, I know I have to drive an hour every morning to get to training. Having my car now.
You drive now?
Yeah, I drive now.
G2?
G2.
What car do you drive? If you don't
I
mind
drive my
asking.
mom's car. I drive my mom's car. It's an ML350.
Oh, 350. Do you push it?
I push it. I do push it. I'm not gonna lie, I push it.
Okay. So,
But the difference in Italy, I feel like, in game style of play, you have to have more of a cultural background in soccer. It's not that pacey, what they teach in Canada. It's not about speed and stuff. It's about how fast you can think with the ball on your foot, off your foot. Your movement off the ball is the most important thing.
So you're saying right now the culture of football is totally different in Italy than in Canada?
Than it is in Canada, 100%.
What do you prefer, Italian football or Canadian football?
I prefer an Italian football.
Italian football. You are Italian
I
yourself.
am Italian myself, but I prefer an Italian football just because of it supports my game a bit more because I'm not the fastest player, even though I'm pretty quick, but just my decision making, it's more on the Italian side than the Canadian side.
Right. And are you 100%, are you full Italian?
I'm full Italian.
Okay.
Born in Canada, raised in Canada, but full Italian.
Full Italian. Have you gone any faster?
Have I got faster?
Yeah,
I am pretty fast.
You got faster?
The only thing is playing with men now,
Right.
not that quick. I don't feel like I'm faster because when I drop down to my own age group, I'm the fastest guy.
Right. But playing with the older guys.
Playing with men,
Men.
they're just stronger. I just gotta think quicker. That's all I gotta do.
You gotta be a couple steps ahead of them.
Yeah.
So, what would you say the difference is in just the level of play between your age group and playing with men? What would be?
I feel the biggest difference you find is just physicality.
That's it.
Physicality and a bit more. They're just more awake when you're older because like they don't switch off. They're always engaged in the game.
What about the fundamentals? Touches, control of the ball.
Just the style of gameplay, like they know what they're doing at the higher level.
Right. And how old are these men, would you say? Around what age do they
I have
marry?
teammates up to 30 years old, married with kids. There's also a bunch of guys young as me. I'm the youngest guy on the team, but there's a bunch of 2000s on the team, a couple 99s, so 3 98s, and then there's a bunch of guys just out of college.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay. And what would you say are some of the difference between? What's the difference between playing as a pro and what is the difference between pros and non-pros from your personal opinion? or
Pros and
perspective?
non-pros is just they're guys that are getting paid to do what they love at the end of the day. It's just playing soccer. It's simple. It's what you've been doing your entire life. It's just you get to a stage where you're playing against the best of the best.
Okay. That is a good way to put it. I've never heard no one say that yet. Speed of play.
Speed of play, the way you think.
Talk about it. Let us know. We want to know
Speed of
about
play
all these things.
is very high at this level. It's you have no time to take 2 touches. Just take 2 touches, you get crunched. At the end of the day. You just gotta be steps ahead. You gotta read the play more. Always be engaged. Never switch off. If you're switching off, you're not gonna get the ball. That's what I find most. If you switch off, you're not gonna touch the ball.
And how many times do you usually get the ball in a game?
I'm on the ball a lot. I like having the ball at my foot, so I'm a guy that touches the ball a lot during the game.
And what position do you play?
I'm a striker.
Striker. And have you scored any goals yet?
Not in USL. I played 1 game.
And what about anywhere else?
I've been playing with the under-19s.
Right.
And I've scored a couple of goals there.
Right.
In the short amount of games I've played.
So killing them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the pros and cons of being a professional player?
I find that there's no cons.
No cons.
The only thing I hear other people complaining about doesn't bother me at all. It's just, since we're getting paid to play soccer, it's just you have to be there on time, leave when they tell you to leave. It's not just like, okay, 6:30 comes, training finishes, you go home. Training finishes, you got to stay there another 2-3 hours watching game film, eating lunch all together, showering, getting your ice baths, make sure you're always recovering, getting there early, having breakfast with the team. It's just a nice environment. I enjoy every minute of it.
I could also agree with you on that. About always being with the boys, it's always a great time. Time just flies by, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but for me at least,
I love it.
time goes.
I never complain.
Me either. What has been the worst injury that you've been through?
The worst part of, I had 2 injuries back to back while I was in Italy, my first year there. I broke a little vertebrae in my back, which set me back 4 months. And recovering, coming back, my first game, I broke my collarbone. So that was probably the worst possible time of my career where I thought, like, am I gonna be able to do this? And I just stuck to it and made it.
So, once you are in this stage of injury, what are steps that you take to recover, or what are things that you do to recover?
I think you just gotta keep a good mindset. Make sure you're staying fit, healthy. Even if you're sat in a bed, you just can't be like thinking at all the negative things that are happening to you. You just gotta always push forward.
Right, and you said this happened in Italy.
It happened in Italy. I was alone.
Alone, away from family.
Away from family.
How'd you deal with that?
It was really tough. It was just a lot of self-motivation, self-esteem, making sure it was always high.
Yeah.
The boys helped me out a lot, always being around me, just playing FIFA with them, talking about training, just that.
Okay. And did the boys treat you any different?
At the beginning, when I wasn't speaking Italian, obviously they treated me different because I was an outsider. But after I'd say the second year,
yeah,
I was one of them.
You're one of them. Can you speak a little bit of Italian right now?
Ciao, mi chiamo Jordan, ho 17 anni e gioco in Toronto.
Sounded nice. I didn't understand a word that you said, but it did sound very nice.
We'll put the subtitles in.
Okay. What did you say? You said my name is Jordan?
My name is Jordan. I'm 17 and I play for Toronto.
Okay, okay. How many injuries have you had, if you can remember?
I've had...
Wait, sorry, let me ask that question again. How many injuries have you had? Wait, sorry.
Say major injuries, better than me.
What'd you say?
Major injuries.
Okay. How many major injuries have you had?
I've had 2 major bone injuries, which include my shoulder and my back, and just a couple of muscle tears here and there, but nothing crazy.
And how many injuries would you say that you've had? Give us a number of
3 major from from being 4 years old all the way to being 17, 3 major injuries.
What keeps you motivated?
Just looking at my idols and wanting to be just like them.
Right. What keeps you disciplined?
What keeps me humbled and disciplined is my family.
What about your family? Keeps you humble and
I come
disciplined?
from a very strict family that never lets me get too high up and always keeps me on a steady level.